The human mind is a delusion generator, not a window to truth. The best any human can do is to pick a delusion that helps him get through the day. Scott Adams. 7 signs your enlightenment may be a delusion. Number 1, you've stopped questioning things. The quickest way to get stuck in a delusion is to stop questioning. The only way to transcend delusion is to stay ahead of it by questioning everything and not relying on answers. Better to come up with improved questions. It's only when we stop questioning that our delusions take control and lead us into stagnation. That is the point of the famous Zen koan: if you meet the Buddha on the road, kill him. Because any Buddha claiming to be the Buddha is false. Any Tao claiming to be the Tao is not the eternal Tao. Similarly, you should kill any notion of having achieved enlightenment in order to continue the process of enlightenment. Number 2, your enlightenment has become religious rather than spiritual. Your enlightenment may be a delusion if you're trying to stuff it into the finite box of a religion while forsaking the infinite nature of spirituality. Enlightenment can only manifest from a spiritual disposition, never from a religious one. This is because spirituality is flexible, while religion is dogmatic. Spirituality is courage-based, while religion is fear-based. Spirituality is interdependent, while religion is codependent. Spirituality speaks a language older than words, while religion speaks a language limited by words. A spiritual person understands that infinity cannot be pigeonholed into finite constructs. God cannot be crammed into man-made models. Thus, the spiritual person transcends the finite game of religion to play the infinite game of spirituality. As Hingori said, spirituality begins where religion ends. Number 3, you can't admit that you might be wrong. No matter how much you think you know, there is nearly an infinite amount of information that you do not, and yet you cling to what you think you know despite this. You want your belief to be true so badly that you believe in vain. You cling to it, thus raising nearly insurmountable walls of cognitive dissonance. You tend to dodge the difficulty of thought, sidestep the challenge of imagination, and then go straight for the easy way out, leaning like a cripple on hand-me-down, ill-conceived, outdated beliefs that are spoon-fed in the form of cultural conditioning and indoctrinated brainwashing. And then you wonder where you went wrong. Number 4, your enlightenment is ego-driven rather than soul-driven. If you're confusing the aggrandizement of your ego for enlightenment, then you may be deluding yourself. This is easy to do. When an uninitiated ego attempts to force-feed itself sacred knowledge, the energy tends to manifest itself narcissistically. In such cases, ego initiation is in order. The cocoon of initiation awaits to annihilate the ego into a soul-callable force to be reckoned with. Otherwise, egocentrism rules. When your drive toward enlightenment is egocentric, there is a divisive feeling of disconnection and imbalance, which leads to delusion. When your drive toward enlightenment is soul-centric, there is a holistic feeling of interconnectedness and harmony, which leads to union. Number 5, you've chosen comfortable stagnation over painful growth. Nothing leads to delusion quicker than becoming too comfortable. The main thing preventing you from stretching your comfort zone is the delusion that you can achieve enlightenment without stretching it. Even if you somehow manage to embrace your fear, there is still the nearly insurmountable walls of self-created delusion you must hurtle over before you can truly begin the adventurous yet uncomfortable task of stretching your comfort zone. As Adyashanti said, make no mistake about it, enlightenment is a destructive process. It has nothing to do with becoming better or being happier. Enlightenment is the crumbling away of untruth. It's seeing through the facade of pretense. It's the complete eradication of everything we imagine to be true. Number 6, you believe in someone else's experience rather than your own. No two enlightenments are the same. Your enlightenment will be nothing like Buddha's enlightenment, or Christ's, or Rumi's. Your path toward enlightenment will be as unique as your own fingerprint. There's nothing wrong with climbing onto the shoulders of giants to see further than they did, but it is critical to your own enlightenment that you do not remain there. As Angeles Arian said, we are all unique medicine. Delusions galore emerge for seekers who vainly attempt to pigeonhole their spiritual development into that of another. Better to remain flexible and aloof on your path. Better to take the sacred knowledge passed down by others into deep consideration, learn what you can, let it go, and then move on with your integrated knowledge in tow. Number 7, you've lost your sense of humor. If you're taking your enlightenment too seriously, then you're probably deluding yourself. True enlightenment is never overly serious, and it's certainly never self-serious. It turns out that enlightenment is really just having a good sense of humor. It's a seeker's saving grace. For as soon as the throne or the pedestal or the high horse of your enlightenment becomes too big for itself, as soon as delusions of grandeur manifest, a good sense of humor knocks you back down to earth so that the vital process of self-overcoming can continue to overcome itself. A good sense of humor is the ultimate psychosocial spiritual leveling mechanism. It slashes across the Achilles heel of your certainty, revealing your fallibility. It humbles you in the same motion as it honors the process of enlightenment. It gives you a sacred space where you're free to laugh at it all, at your moral coil, at the vastness of the cosmos, in the face of God, so that you may remain diligent, circumspect, and not so damn serious all the time.